Once you've defined what success looks like for your discussion, your next move is to design an agenda that supports that success without choking out spontaneity or group energy. A rigid, overstructured agenda can make people feel rushed, stifled, or disengaged. But on the other hand, an agenda that's too loose or only in your head can cause confusion and drift. So the goal here is balance. You want enough structure to create clarity and psychological safety, and enough flexibility to adjust in the moment when energy or insight takes the group somewhere valuable. So start with framing questions, not just topics. Too many agendas are just a list of vague topics like Q3 priorities, customer insights, new campaign ideas. These don't tell your team what they're supposed to do with the topics. A better move is to design the agenda around framing questions. These give the conversation purpose and direction. So instead of customer insights, try what pain points are we seeing in onboarding that we didn't expect. Instead of Q3 priorities, try what should we say no to so we can focus on the right Q3 goals. Framing questions spark reflection and not just reporting. They also help participants prepare better because they understand what kind of input is needed. You also want to allocate time blocks, but pad them for emergence. So when you plan your agenda, give each section a clear time block. This helps you and your team stay on track. But here's the real trick. Build in a 20 to 25% buffer time. Why is that? Because real conversation doesn't follow a script. Someone will bring up a new idea, a disagreement might surface, or an insight might take the room somewhere unexpected, but ultimately useful. Padding gives you the flexibility to explore those moments without feeling like you failed the agenda. You haven't. You've made space for what matters. Using checkpoints, not a strict timeline, means instead of obsessing over minute-by-minute timing, trying milestones. For example, you could say by the 20-minute mark we should have surfaced 5 campaign concepts. By halfway through, let's make sure we've named any blockers to launch. This anchors the conversation around progress and not the clock. It also gives you more authority as a facilitator. You can pause and say, we are at our checkpoint. Are we where we need to be or where we shift gears? Designing for multiple modalities means understanding that not everyone processes information the same way. Some people need to talk to think, others need to write, some need a moment of silence to reflect. So when you plan the agenda, you can build in these different modes of participation. For example, you could start with 3 minutes of silent writing, move to small breakout discussions, then surface themes in a large group share, or use digital tools like live polls, Jamboards, or shared docs. This makes your meeting more inclusive and gets better input, especially from quieter team members or remote participants. Finally, always have that wrap-up block. Always reserve time at the end to synthesize what happened and clarify next steps. It's one of the most skipped parts of any agenda, and one of the most damaging to momentum. If you don't close the loop, people leave with their own interpretations, no accountability, and no clarity on what comes next. A wrap-up doesn't need to be long, but it should include a recap of what was decided, who owns what happens next. You could even assign a participant to share the recap so it doesn't always fall on you. Ultimately, an agenda isn't just a list of things to get through. It's a tool for shaping how people engage and what kind of thinking they bring when they do. So design it like a communicator, with clarity, intentionality, and empathy for the people you're leading through it.